Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here, and in today's video, going to be talking through a couple player props I like on Prizepicks for tonight's NBA slate on Thursday, March the 23rd. Now for tonight, we just have a 4-game slate, so it's not it's not going to be the biggest slate. There's not going to be a ton of props to love today, but I do still have 2 picks that I'm going to share in this video, guys. 2 fantasy score props I am liking for today. So before we do talk through these 2 plays, as always, if you guys do enjoy these Prizepicks videos, and if they do help you out, make sure you hit that like button down below, hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. We're getting close to 40,000 subscribers. I think we're like a little bit over 800 subscribers away. So if you're new, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Also, if you've never checked out Prizepicks before, you can actually sign up for Prizepicks. You can use my promo code Noah. If you look at the bottom of the screen, when you sign up for Prizepicks with my promo code, you'll get your first deposit matched up to $100. So if you want to tell the picks I give out in this video, you can do so. If you want to take a look at all the other props that Prizepicks has available, you can do that as well. Prizepicks, they do offer a ton of other sports outside of just NBA. You can see all that they offer, from NHL to PGA, college basketball, baseball. The regular season, it starts a week from today. So you got MLB you can take a look at, soccer, CSGO. They got a ton. So give Prizepicks a try, guys. Use that promo code Noah. When you sign up, get your first deposit matched up to $100. Before we talk through our 2 plays for today, I do want to recap our 2 plays from yesterday. So we did cash in yesterday's video. We cashed both of the 2 plays we gave out. The gambling gods, they treated me well on my birthday. We did hit both of our 2 plays yesterday, and we hit 3 out of our 4 plays on Patreon. So 5 out of our 6 plays hit yesterday. Unfortunately, we needed 3 more fantasy points from Steph Curry for the full 6 for 6 sweep. But looking at the 2 plays we gave out yesterday in the YouTube video, we took the over. We took the over on Anthony Davis's points as one of our 2 plays. Davis, didn't have the best first half. He only had like 7 points in the first half, but he had a big second half, finished with 27 points. I know his points prop, it did get bumped up to 25.5, or from 25.5 to 26.5, but he still cashed his bump line too. So hopefully you guys tailed that pick. And then we took the over on Nikola Jokic's fantasy score. That was one of my favorite plays yesterday. Jokic had a pretty big game, finished with a little over 60 fantasy points. We only needed, I think, 52.5. That was his line. His line also, it did get bumped a point, but he obviously cashed that as well. So cashed both those 2 plays yesterday. Hopefully you guys tailed. Hopefully you made some money. Do want to say that there was a lot of comments on yesterday's video. You guys wishing me happy birthday. I really appreciate it. I tried to respond to some of the comments. I couldn't respond to all of them though, but thank you to everyone who did wish me a happy birthday yesterday. I do appreciate it, guys. But let's talk through Thursday's slate. This 4-gamer, 2 fantasy score props I'm liking for today. And we're going to start off in this Cleveland-Brooklyn game and look at Mikal Bridges' fantasy score. Now, if you look over Mikal Bridges' last 5 games, he has gone under this line now in 3 straight. He's gone over in 2 out of his last 5. Against Sacramento, he came up just short, less than 1 point short. And then he has struggled the last 2 games against Denver and against Cleveland. But really what stands out, for one, the Cleveland matchup, obviously it's the same matchup today. He did play full minutes in that game. He played 37 minutes. He had like 18 points, but he didn't really have many other peripherals. He didn't really get anything else besides those points. I mean, he had 4 rebounds, 1 assist, and 2 turnovers. Bridges, normally we can bank on him getting at least like 4, 5, 6 rebounds. We can normally bank on him getting at least a couple of assists. And he's usually pretty good to get some defensive stats as well. It was kind of weird to see him get no defensive stats last game. He's normally a guy that can get you, a couple steals or a block or so. And obviously, when you take fantasy score, you do get 3 points per block and steal. But I definitely think this fantasy score line on Bridges is a little bit too low, despite the matchup here against Cleveland. Obviously, Cleveland's a good defensive team. They play at a slow pace, but ever since Mikal Bridges got traded to Brooklyn, his role has just been totally different. He's been basically their number 1, number 2 option on offense. Him and Spencer Dinwiddie have been the 2 guys really running the show. And if you take a look at Bridges' numbers, since he got traded to Brooklyn, leading the team in usage rate, 28.5% usage rate, and he's averaging 1.08 fantasy points per minute. So he's been a greater than a fantasy point per minute player. He's been playing massive minutes in competitive games. The Nets have been involved in some blowouts lately, which I think might have been the reason that Bridges' minutes have been a little bit down. Like the game against Denver, I don't think he played at all in the 4th quarter in that game. He only played 31 minutes. But we did see last game against Cleveland, he played 37 minutes. Their game against OKC was competitive. He played 38 minutes. That game against Denver, where he did go over his fantasy score, that game was competitive. He played 38 minutes. The game against Minnesota, I think, went to overtime, but he played 47 minutes in that game. If this game's competitive, we should get close to 40 minutes from Mikal Bridges. Right now the Nets, they're fighting for playoff position. I think last time I checked, they were the 6th seed in the East. I'm gonna take a look and see just to confirm that. But last time I checked, they were the 6th seed in the East, so they are still the 6th seed. If they want to, keep that 6th seed, if they want to lock their spot into the playoffs, they got to keep winning games, because they could definitely fall out to the play-in, and obviously that you don't want that to happen. You want to try and lock up 1 through 6 spots. So we can expect the Nets to go all out to continue to try and win these games. And this game's being played at home, so I think Brooklyn should play a little bit better here at home. We've seen Brooklyn be they've been a really weird team this season. Like, some nights they'll lose by 30, some nights they'll beat teams by 30. It's a really weird team, but this game should be competitive. The spread is just 4.5. I know the matchup's not great, but we're going to get big minutes from Mikal Bridges. He's averaged over a fantasy point per minute this season with the Nets, and on average when he plays 37, 38 minutes, I would bank on him going over 33.5 fantasy score. So that's the first play that I do like for today, is Mikal Bridges more than 33.5 fantasy score. And then the other play that I like to pair with that is going to be Nick Richards' fantasy score of 25.5. So you look at Nick Richards' last 5 games, he's gone over this line in 3 out of his last 5. He had 3 really big games against Utah, against Cleveland, and then last game against Indiana, he was really good. So the game against Cleveland, where he only had 18.1 fantasy points, that game he played just 23 minutes. He did not play at all in the fourth quarter in that game. They closed that game small. They went with P.J. Washington at the 5. Dennis Smith Jr. was out there in the closing lineup over Nick Richards. And then the game against Philadelphia, Richards got in foul trouble. He had 4 fouls in just 13 minutes. It was just not a good matchup going up against Joel Embiid, and it's kind of a spot that you would expect Richards to struggle. But last game, in a good matchup against Indiana, he bounced back in a big way. He played 26 minutes, had 14 points, 17 rebounds, 1 assist, and 2 blocks. What's good to see is that Richards got back up to 26 minutes last game, and he even lost a few minutes because of some foul trouble. If you look at the rotations last game, Richards played about 8 minutes in the first quarter, subbed back in the second quarter with about 6 minutes left. He played about 3 minutes in the second quarter, but he picked up his 3rd foul with about 2.5 minutes left in the second quarter, and then he got benched those final 2.5 minutes. So he lost out on about 2 to 3 minutes because of some early foul trouble, because of he picked up his 3rd foul in the second quarter. So if he doesn't pick up that 3rd foul, he probably plays 28, 29 minutes last game. And we saw the 2 games before that he started that he did really well in, the game against Utah, the game against Cleveland. Those 2 games he played good minutes. He played 30 minutes against Utah. That game against Cleveland he played 32 minutes. He's been pretty productive since taking over for Mark Williams. And if you look at Nick Richards this season in terms of fantasy points per minute, he's been a good per minute producer. He's averaged 1.04 fantasy points per minute, and since he's taken over as a starter, he's averaged 1.16 fantasy points per minute. So we can usually bank on Richards, producing at over a fantasy point per minute, clip. And he's been playing about 30 minutes in the games that he has started, and he's avoided foul trouble. Now, this matchup against the Pelicans, I think is a pretty good matchup for centers. It's been a pretty good matchup for centers this season. The Pelicans so far this season are giving up the 6th most fantasy points to the center position. The only thing that worries me here is that Nick Richards will be going up against Jonas Valanciunas, and Jonas Valanciunas is a pretty good guy at drawing fouls. He's a big dude that will put his body on you, and he can draw fouls. So that's the one concern, is that if Nick Richards does get into some foul trouble, we could lose this pick. But I think if he plays 28, 30 minutes, with how good he's been on a per minute basis this season, given he's averaged over a fantasy point per minute, given the matchup's been good for centers, I like his chances of going over 25.5 fantasy score. I took his fantasy score over last game in that matchup against Indiana. I really like that matchup for him. And this is another spot I like the matchup for him. Got to hope he avoids foul trouble. If he does, he should play about 30 minutes, and I definitely would bank on him going over this fantasy score if he plays around 30 minutes. So give me the over on Nick Richards. 25.5 fantasy score is our second pick for today. And these are 2 early picks I do like for this little Thursday slate, guys. Again, it's just a 4-game slate, so there's probably not going to be too many picks to like today. I'll have to take a look at the board again and see what I can find to give out on Patreon today. Not sure how many plays I'm going to post over on Patreon, but I'll probably give out at least 2 or 3, maybe 4 plays if I can find enough worth playing. But we'll be back with a much bigger slate on Friday, I'm sure. Hope you guys, though, did enjoy this video. I hope it did help. Make sure, before you get out of here, you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button as well. And be sure to check out Prizepicks, too. If you have not signed up for Prizepicks yet, you can use that promo code NOAH when you sign up, and you will get your first deposit matched up to $100 when you sign up with my promo code. But good luck tonight, guys. Thanks, as always, for watching the video, supporting the content. Appreciate you guys a ton. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.